This is That Comic Smell podcast, featuring your hosts
David Robertson,
Fernando Pons,
Giuseppe Lambertino,
Mike Sadaka,
and Tom Stewart.
So upset, and if so, my apologies. You see, unless I'm tied down with my pen and hand bound, I won't say what I mean. You couldn't bring me down. You couldn't bring me down.
A yogurt cake, and that was really nice. So I'm quite happy to
Yogurt.
yogurt. Yeah, yogurt cake. Yeah, it was very nice actually.
Are you
Nice
quite
sponge.
handy on the sweet side of baking, and do you enjoy
It's
it?
not so. I mean, I enjoy cooking, but baking
I
itself
enjoy
is not
eating.
something that I do
I
very
enjoy
much.
cooking, but yeah, baking I kind of ain't my.
I'm not scared of it, but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
kind of do more the cooking than the baking. But I do enjoy every now and then to do something in baking as well. So yeah,
Nice. What other cakes do you do?
I do. This is probably my best one. Is a nice tray bake. It's a Mars bar cake,
A Mars bar cake.
Yeah, sounds good.
and
Which
it's
one are they?
really good.
Do you have to buy loads of Mars bars?
Well, it's Mars bars, butter, Rice Krispies, and chocolate. It's really
How
good.
often do you make that a year? Do you make that like for one of the boys' birthdays or something?
Yeah,
sometimes,
things like that. Yeah,
Whoa.
it's really good.
How deep is it? Like, is it like that?
No, I do it much smaller.
So it's literally, instead of a layer of biscuits, it's a layer of Mars bars.
yeah, well, no Mars bar really, because it's the Rice Krispies mixed with the Mars bar melted, and then on top you put chocolate.
Ah, I had
They
visions of you
No.
layering Mars bars
No,
and then Rice
no,
Krispies
no.
and then melted
You,
chocolate.
you melt the
on top.
butter, and you melt the Mars bars.
Ah,
And then you get this sort
One
of
mass.
mix very
Ah.
slowly, don't burn it. And then you add the Rice Krispies, and then you make this mix. The Rice Krispies get all sticky and a caramel color. And then you lay all the Rice Krispies in a big tray, and you flatten that. And then you add the melted milk chocolate on top, the little set. And then the
that,
chocolate on the top should be
that sounds
hard,
amazing,
and then the
man.
Rice Krispies should be just sort of gooey, slightly crispy at times. So
That sounds amazing, doesn't it?
it's quite good. I have to say, it's probably my
Signature.
yeah.
cake.
Well, when there's parties or we have friends and things like that, it's always Nando's Mars bar cake. There's requests for it.
Requests.
Yeah, there are requests
Yeah.
for it. Yes, so I don't do it very often. And,
Nice.
And I got one
Dig into it all.
you might recognize.
These ones are made by me, so
Oh, scone time.
yep.
Giuseppe.
Some of them have currants in
Oh,
them.
text.
Some of them are plain.
But that's by Joe Cooper, this one.
So pure.
I've never read any text really.
That's a classic of.
Oh, I know it. I know about
Oh,
it.
it
Yeah.
is.
Are you a big text fan?
No, not really.
No.
I remember text in Spain published. It was kind of a smaller format in black and white.
Right.
And it was the Italian, all the
Yeah, 'cause
Italian
that's-
artists and Italian.
Because I think it was black and white in Italy.
Because I think that's pretty much the format we got in Spain.
Yeah.
And then later they start to do colored versions of it.
Of old stories or of the new
All
stuff.
are new. I think.
Is it? I mean, is it still running? I don't even know.
I believe so, yeah. Yeah, I believe so. And this one I found the digital with Joe Cooper, and that's one that you can get here in the
Do
UK.
you like that Happy Meal toy?
There must,
It was published by Dark Horse, I think.
Yeah, that.
Titan.
in Italy, they must only be able to get. I mean, the reader numbers can't be massive. There must be like. I mean, I remember the books. The paper's not great.
No.
They must have to
My wee cousin did get a wee bit possessive.
cut costs on material because the readership can't be massive, and it's monthly, isn't it? I believe.
Yeah.
Paper.
Howdy, partner.
How's
Winster.
that? A nice touch.
Oh, I see.
This is a lovely spot.
Hey, gringos.
You know the American
Vais a
marshals, they
chingarla.
like their donuts.
This is a festive donuts, eh?
I've tried one already. I don't want to
Frijoles.
say greedy.
Frijoles saltarines.
These are
Frijoles saltarines.
These are like sitting equal box.
I've got my batch over there on top of the fridge.
Nice.
Well, one of you boys that's loaded, get us going. Because I don't have anything to
Oh,
offer.
Come on, Mike.
okay.
Right. Start us off.
Shoot.
Ah,
Shit. Shit.
Shoot.
see, I should have brought that Indiana Jones whip I had for Halloween. Yeah.
For what? Halloween.
Terrible story about that though. Before I get started, I had everything for the costume. I had the fedora, I had the brown leather coat. I even got my dad's. He got my handbag from the airport once. I even had that and the snakes and everything. The only thing I didn't have was a whip. So I went into a paper shop in Perth because they sold costumes. I went in, looked all over, couldn't see anything, and just casually walked up to the counter. Lots of people there, but they're all talking. No one's paying any attention. And I said, "Do you have any whips in here?" Everyone goes silent, turns around, laughs at me, and I was like, "No, I'm dressed up as Indiana Jones." Like, yeah, here you are.
There's a pervert looking for a whip here.
Yeah. And no matter what I said, nothing could convince
No,
them.
that was it. No.
I got a wee while ago. I got some of these. I don't have the full set, but there's only actually 9 volumes in this. It's called Etc. And it's a manga set in the Wild West. The main character is this wee girl. She's sort of half Chinese, half Western, and it's got a lot of cliche characters. It's got a priest who befriends her but has a mysterious past, and a lady cowgirl who's more than friends with the priest. Then there's a couple of Native Americans who are persecuted but turn out to be heroes, and then there's this guy here, like the dashing, handsome but a complete and utter twat, and lots of other characters who kind of have their own agendas. But in the end, what it comes down to is there's 2 sort of funny little guns. One of them shoots out powers from the Western horoscopes like Taurus and Aries, and the other one, the one that she has, shoots out powers from the 12 animals of the Chinese zodiac. So like she'll shoot out a rat or a tiger. Oddly enough, there's no hen or a rooster. It seems to be a general.
That's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
It's quite good. I like the artwork's pretty nice. It doesn't take itself too seriously. And plus it's only 9 volumes, so if you didn't want to like spend all your time reading some anime that goes on for 30 volumes, this one's quite good. It's pretty readable. It's not too much in depth. I had some comics with me instead of graphic novels. I got this free I say free. I got it with you know those big cardboard sleeve comic review magazines, and one of them had this, the cowboy version of Ghost Rider. It's a while ago since I read this. It's nice artwork as well, but it's like what you say about how you get computers to put text on and it doesn't quite look right. I wouldn't mind seeing this with handwritten text.
Was there not an older thing of Ghost Rider in the West as well? Yeah. This is a more newer one though, I'm assuming. Oh, is that Ennis?
I don't actually know that much about Ghost Rider. That's the only cowboy Ghost Rider I've got.
Yeah.
The only other Ghost Rider comic I've got is the guy with the purple flaming head with horns sticking out, and he battles an intelligent
What
Hulk.
did you read again here?
That's the same as the other Japanese comics. You start from the back and go...
Yeah, but if I was at these pages now, would I read this page first and then this?
Yeah. And you do from the right to the left.
To the left.
I'd read it like that.
Yeah.
And then like that.
Yeah.
Alright.
Sometimes they actually have wee arrows in the other pages to show you, but not always. Here's one of my favourite cinematic characters.
With no name.
Yeah, that's the Clint Eastwood character.
Oh!
Famously wearing
right,
his poncho.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't quite look as hard or as intimidating in this comic as he did in the films. So, and this is the only one I have. But it's got some nice pictures. I read this ages ago, but story-wise, it's kind of in the middle. So, I'm not too sure where it's going with this. Whether it was a prequel or
Just the tie-in or something.
Yeah, probably. A lot of the westerns I have here are kind of debatable. In your broadest sense, you could say Cadillacs and Dinosaurs with westerns because it was set in the Wild West. Even though there's no horses, there's Cadillacs, and there's no people to fight, there's dinosaurs.
Yeah, I thought about
Flash,
2000 AD.
Yeah.
But they're in the dinosaur era as well.
Yeah.
And they're cowboys from the
Except
future.
They go back in
I thought
time.
this has got a bit too far away from.
I don't know.
Anyway, I mentioned it.
Yeah, it still works.
They
Yeah.
look like
It's-
cowboys.
In its broadest sense, this is also set in the Wild West.
Yeah.
But instead of cowboys, it's steampunk.
Yeah.
It's more sort of Mad Max than anything else.
Fist of the North Star.
That guy on
Also
there
worthy
looks
of
exactly like a character from a Japanese
Sohara.
cartoon that used to do kung fu. Did you ever see it?
That is
With-
that.
That is that.
Oh, that is that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they made a really good, like a really interesting arcade cabinet with that, where it was like the pads came out of you and you had to punch them wherever they were coming out, sort of thing. But see, when it came to the bit when like they got riled up and you had to take on the boss, all of them would come out in quick succession. You just had to like sit punching the hell out of it. It was so
I
good.
used to watch that in Italy.
Yeah. It was really popular.
Here as well, was it here?
Yeah, really popular show.
It was Channel 4 bought the series 1, and it was to coincide with, and I'll quote from the Japanese anime encyclopedia, beer, curry and fights Saturday night. So in theory you're meant to get pissed and have a fight and just get completely black and blue, and then go home and watch Fist of the North Star. And if you're not finished, go back outside and have a punch up.
I remember it being really violent, and this is
Yes.
living up to
You'll
that.
probably notice in there that the main villain in the first series, Shin, it's a little bit more extreme because he's not wearing any clothes. I wasn't wanting to stick with cowboys too much, so even though there is a dinosaur theme, I stuck with Turret, the Native American who hunts dinosaurs.
Has that anything to do with the game?
Possibly, I think they might have made
It
one.
is. Yes. I always liked the game. It's
I know I'm still sort of broad at the moment, but this character I think is kind of symbolises the Wild West. Even though it's not properly a Western, I think Wolverine is easily fittable into a cowboy realm.
beautiful. Is that
I brought this along because my favourite cowboy is in this. Desperate Dan.
But,
And when you look at the original, it's full of pictures from cowboy times.
Yeah.
Um,
God, I'd never even thought of that.
Yeah.
That's
the
Good call.
the original has stories of the Wild West. It's got comic stories of the Wild West because at the time there was a really huge fascination about cowboys, and in particular in 1930s Scotland. But the main dude,
Desperate Dan himself.
yep. But Desperate Dan, when he started, was nothing but a big thug. Now you see here, I mean, this is a hilarious story, but it's like Desperate Dan's looking for a horse that'll support his weight. The horse doesn't, so he goes up to the guy that sold him it and tries to punch him in the face. Instead, the guy ducks, and Dan punches the tree, which falls on top of the guy.
Kind of makes more sense to his namesake, that strip, Desperate Dan. Like he's desperate to do something. Whereas when it got a wee bit later on, it didn't really make much sense that his name was Desperate Dan. He wasn't really desperate for anything.
Then
Last ever issue, so the last ever printed issue.
that's the last printed one, and they were going to do it online, but as far as I know, it's not really been kept up online.
I think it lasted about 6 months.
Did it?
And then just shut it down,
What, the Dan bit?
yeah.
Oh.
Uh,
Because I was wondering if they kind of finished any characters off in this. Not finished them
you mean
off.
kill them off?
No, but you know, Desperate Dan's not desperate anymore.
Banana Man's just lost all his powers.
Yeah,
It's just
Banana
a
Man's
fucking-
had too many bananas.
Banana Man becomes like Captain America, depressed and alcoholic.
Yeah. He's just sitting eating himself. Like, oh.
Well, the last comic I've got on this list two characters. Judge Dredd, because obviously Judge Dredd is a bit of a cowboy in himself. A lot of the stories are set in the Accursed Earth.
Well, he's a marshal,
so There is actually a separate story with a guy called the Marshal, who wears a sort of cloak, sort of purple cloak, and he's following a criminal, but he has to go into Mega City 1 and he crosses swords with Judge Dredd. He's captured and he just completely kills whoever gets in his way until Judge Dredd has to deal with him. Also, there's a nice wee character here, a killer horse, who I think is called Henry Ford. I need to double check that.
Judge Dredd does have a lot of sort of Western themes going through it.
The horse.
And all being judge, jury, and execution, and that was sort of the thing for Wild West.
Yeah.
Like if the marshal or anything was in town, he was judge, jury, and executioner kind of thing. And you'd get that lone guy coming through and taking all the bad guys down and whatnot.
Carnivorous horse
Talking horse.
really is called Henry Ford. But the last character I'll point out is half of this magazine was Judge Dredd, the other half was Preacher. You got the cowboy there. I've never really read Preacher, so as far as I know, this cowboy.
He's Son of Killers.
Because he's meant to be. I think he's kind of based on Clint Eastwood, but someone told me he was like Jesus.
I don't think he's best.
No.
He's meant to be a modern day Jesus. Is that?
Not really.
I wouldn't have made that parallel.
Nope.
Not with the way that he.
Given the way he behaves.
I know he kills most people who cross him.
Preacher's a good one though. That's on my list. Is like.
Yeah, I never thought of it, but
Yeah.
it's got that kind of, because it's deep south and it's Texas.
It's them as well, kind of the group of they would be seen as like the outlaws up against the law and whatnot.
Yeah.
The law being heaven and earth and hell below them and whatnot. You know, it's very much, it draws upon the Western theme overall. Is it? Do you know what? I think Westerns like if not one of the oldest, one of the most original, one of the most original sort of themes that you can get in anything. It's always sort of good versus evil, and there's always a community aspect to it as well. So you get very acquainted with characters and everything within Western. Like it's always very character driven. It's never a kind of broader thing. There's always with Western. It's always the one outlaw or hero or you know anything. It's always based upon them and maybe their band of group of what's the word I'm looking for? Comrades that they kind of collect over time or whatever. Even if they're going on their own, they're up against a collective of people, and it's very much. I always think of westerns as being like one of the kind of oldest genres, I would say. Definitely. It's quite a prevalent genre overall, I would say. It's died by the wayside a lot more these days, not just in comic form but in films and everything as well, but it's still present. It's still, people still draw upon it as a genre to write their stories overall. It's still quite a...
Yeah, I think with the Western, as you were saying, I agree with you on certain points. To me, in particular, I find the Western as a theme, whether it's in comics and in books or in films, it's always this sort of situation where there's no set up society as a per rules and laws, and is always the kind of more a wild, as the Wild West says, environment. The goods, you find good people, bad people, and there's always these kind of good people that it's kind of in the grey area, that they're gonna defend the good. They have a set of moral things, a code of honor, and they stick to it. And not necessarily everyone agrees with that, and that will be maybe the hero, but it's a wee bit of an anti-hero in certain ways. In majority of cases with the Western, you see that in films. You see that even in one of the best Western comics, like Lieutenant Blueberry, for example. There's always that little area where you think, well, actually he's not a saint,
Yeah.
but he has a code of honor and he sticks to it, and he always helps the people in need. And yeah, it's a theme always the evil and the goodness, and because there's no society, there's no set of rules, you don't see always the law and order constantly. You kind of feel, well, this is a great idea, this is interesting to work with, and it has influenced many other themes afterwards. Because if you go and you study and you look into pulp magazines and novels and any other stories that happened, for example, in the United States regarding Western, then after that, what it took over was gangsters.
Yeah.
And then after that, then you're looking into perhaps spies or war.
Yeah.
Or so there were,
But that was when-
the Western gangsters novels, they always go back to Western times. The themes, the idea of the
things that transform those stories from westerns into like gangsters and like you said, when you start getting like spies and stuff like that, it seems to always be like a higher order, like a government or something, is the thing that divides it. Like you said, there's no kind of general overruling or whatever. It's, there's the small jailhouse within the town or whatever, and that's the way. That's the law and order there, and that's it. Whereas when you get into like the mobsters and the spies and stuff like that, it's always like governing bodies that are going against them, sort of thing. So it's really
as you said, as a theme, it's a very old one, and you don't see nowadays Western films, very many of them.
No.
Or novels, but in comics, I mean, recently, probably we could talk about East of West, by Image, and that's pretty much a science fiction, but it's pretty much a Western. And certainly Judge Dredd has a lot of it coming from that idea. The law and order, the marshals has everything in there, they are the law. And all these themes, all these bits and pieces are coming from Western stories. So there is a lot of things and influence, although you don't see very much nowadays.
Yeah, that's East and West.
Yeah, East and West, yes.
So we flip through if anybody would like to. There's also Scalped as well. As another
Yes, yep.
Another newer one.
I read the Scalped.
I've only
much
just
from
kind of got into it.
But in Scalp, you're talking about a modern reservation.
Yeah.
And we follow the American Indians.
Yes, that is
in modern days. And
it's that's a weird one, Scalped, because then that has the governing body on the top of it as well, and like that starts getting into gangster territory. But it does hone in on its roots of, you do know that it is like a Wild West story in the same aspect, even though it's set in today's political climate and everything as well. It is still, you can tell just by even looking at it, the way it's drawn and everything, it looks very much like a Western themed comic. Scalped is a good one actually.
it's a good one. Scalped is a good one to talk about that. Indeed.
I had Sixth Gun down here as well.
I haven't read that one.
I think it was Oni Press, if I remember rightly.
It rings a bell, yeah.
It's that's like demonic stuff going on within this Wild West setting. So it is very much based in old days West, but there's 6 guns that have been distributed out to these demons, and one demon was locked away for so long, but now his cronies have risen up and got him up from the dead, and he's gone looking for his gun, but his gun's tied to a civilian, and there's another demonic kind of person who's on the good side, who's with this girl trying to hide her, and it's a lot of like, it's very much in the case of like Preacher, it's like a road trip. A road trip, yeah. It's like a road trip story, but still with this kind of, they've got these outlaws chasing them across the the West as they're trying to escape. You know, so it's still rooted in that as well. But that's six down.
Right.
Yeah, I've about halfway through that, and it's great. That one's actually really interesting because it doesn't have too much. It doesn't weigh you down with too much dialogue or too much explanation either. So you've not got tons of backstory. Like I'm saying all that just now, but that was all kind of explained, just kind of bit by bit as it was going on, and you know you're just discovering it nice and slowly. It doesn't kind of waylay you with all this story right at the off.
Right.
You know, it's a couple of issues and it just kind of unveils it as it goes along, but you don't feel like you're slogging through it to try and get this next bit of the story. It's a nice bit of art as well. That's East of West. I can get 6 going on there as well, actually. Lucky Luke, you brought Lucky Luke.
Yeah, I brought Lucky Luke. I was one of them.
I couldn't find any.
Tortillas for the Daltons. There's a thing going on, the Dalton brothers, yeah. Lucky Luke by Morris and Goscinny, one of the classics of European comics.
It's really small.
And this is, well, it's essentially he's a sheriff, he's a marshal, and he's
Who, Luke?
yeah,
Lucky
Lucky
Luke.
Luke, yeah. And the man who shoots faster than his own shadow.
Yeah.
That's what he does.
I love that idea.
They are really great adventures. There's a lot of different characters. They're always having a laugh about,
I love this European size.
you know, all the different typical
I thought I'd stumbled
characters
upon
you'll find.
Scooby-Doo.
The dog, yeah. He's not particularly intelligent. but
Why, Scooby-Doo?
no, that
No,
dog.
the dog
That dog, yeah.
in there.
Right, yeah. But
He's
is
very
Scooby-Doo
stupid.
intelligent? Scooby-Doo's not intelligent either.
Yeah,
Not really.
He hangs around with Shaggy.
I think in Scooby is actually more intelligent
More
than that one.
right.
So Scooby-Doo can speak. Yeah.
So look at this one. Look at this one. Look at that one. Yeah, I've never read a Lucky Luke.
No, they're Lucky Luke. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Lucky Luke's a good one.
There was even a cartoon TV series years ago. I remember in Spain we had it. I don't know here, I suppose.
I think they did have it here. It was my dad that turned me on to Lucky Luke.
And it was very close to the comics.
Yeah,
I remember.
My dad turned me on to Lucky Luke. He was a big fan.
Morris.
There was like a game had come out for like the PlayStation or something like that, and he straight away, oh, Lucky Luke, I love Lucky Luke.
Lucky Luke. He's always so chill out, and he knows somehow he always gives you that sort of thing. Yes, that's no problem. Everything has a solution. He's gonna do it.
Yep.
It doesn't matter how deep the problem is. It's just it solves it. Yeah, the Dalton brothers.
That was sick gun. Oh yeah. That's the second issue, and it's just been.
It does look a lot of fun.
There's many stories of Lucky Luke, so this is grab one if you can because it's a really good series in general.
Do you know what it kind of reminds me of? The style, anyway, like
Accurate.
Yeah, but also, well,
Oh, it is Jim,
yeah, like yeah. What's that?
It's him, innit?
Oh, there you go then.
Oh no. Is Goscinny the writer?
Goscinny is the writer, Uderzo is the artist, and this one is Morris. Morris, he
So
does
it's
Is No Good.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Isn't it?
It's the same artist of Is No Good.
There we go. That explains
I
it.
want to be the Caliph.
I remember, yeah.
That's why.
Yeah. Yes.
I was sitting thinking like it's very, very similar. I also have written down Jonah Hex, All-Star Western.
Jonah Hex, yeah, classic of DC Comics.
Actually, is All-Star Western a rebranded of Jonah Hex?
Six and a half a dozen. It's kind of just the same thing. It started off as All-Star Western, didn't
I
it?
believe so.
Because that is actually some Western comics I've got, but I never read them because I bought them when the New 52 came out, and I bought like the first three, but I never read them.
Do you know what? That actually, when the New 52 came out, the All-Star Western was actually one of the best ones that came out.
Oh,
Is
right.
that the ones with Morita? Is the artist Morita?
I don't know. It was.
New 52. I think so. Yeah.
It was. It was a style which I was a bit about. I seem to remember.
Yeah, New 52 All-Star Western. Gray, Palmiotti, and Moritat. Oh, Moritat. There you go. Yeah.
That's the 0 issue though.
Yeah,
that came out at like.
Wait a minute. There you go.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, Moritat.
Yeah.
Justin Gray, Jimmy Palmiotti. Did I have Palmiotti?
Palmiotti. Jimmy
My
Palmiotti.
And Moritat. I can never get people's names. This is terrible. But yeah, All-Star Western is really
So
good.
it's all right. That right.
Yeah. That's another one that
Don't
kind
know
of
where it is.
plays on like demonic forces and whatnot as well sometimes.
What that one? John?
Yeah. Occasionally.
Well, I suppose they have to kind of,
Spice it up a wee bit.
Yeah, because how many stories can you really write up within that genre? You have to kind of just try.
I brought along a
There you
there we go.
That's the one.
That's
Be
it.
quite
Original
often
one.
as well.
Original
Weird
one.
Western
That's a nice looking
tales.
one,
This
isn't it?
is good.
Is it a 70s? This one. Attention.
Attention.
The smell is coming.
Oh.
73, yeah.
I was pleased to see there was a lot of smell mentioned in that series 6 of Comic Book Men. In several episodes, there was a sniffing comments going on. Is that still the current title? All-Star Western? Jonah Hex? No. Or one of the many that they pulled?
I don't think they're actually still going. I think they
This is
finished
a-
it
this is a
properly
very-
though.
This was a
Like,
powerful
they had a-
sequence. Burn the
They
house
killed him.
down and
Yeah.
Look.
I know. You just kind of wrote off.
justice is served.
What's that?
Well, you'll see. Oh, nothing can prepare you. Here we go. Oh,
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tony Zuniga, yeah.
he's great, is he?
Yeah.
Have a look at that. Tony
Lovely.
Zuniga.
What were you,
I think
what were you
we-
looking for? The artist?
Yeah.
Who is it?
It's that comic
Tony
as well.
I remember when he
Zuniga.
died, I scanned a page of this and put it online. Just, tribute.
Yeah, this is a classic.
That is good. That was in the, they did a trade paperback collection when the movie came out.
The what?
That story was in
Yeah.
there.
I think you get that for the Angus Life.
Yeah, I did, yeah. I got that in.
Jonah Hex plus El Diablo.
El Diablo.
Hijo de puta.
It's that little bit scary. Johnny.
Yeah.
Disgusting, isn't it?
Yes.
He's
With the kind of the eye.
Well, El Diablo is just like a Zorro rip-off, but it's red.
Yeah.
There you go.
Essentially.
Yeah.
God, I loved that black and white Zorro when I was a kid.
always like that.
The
cloud
TV
colour.
series, do you know?
With them.
Yeah, do you remember it?
Yeah.
God,
he
that
kept
was
his,
brilliant.
the lighter on everything.
Bit of
You
a
put it on the
Charles
tree.
Bronson.
You put it on people's
Yeah,
Yeah.
shirts. And
I was gonna say I always liked that.
Yeah, it's a nice
Quite
cover.
like
Frank White.
Yes, cover.
Yeah, he does.
it's nice.
You know, Jonah Hex was on 2 episodes of Batman, the animated series.
Yes,
It
he
was a
was.
two-parter. That was the first time I saw him.
ah,
Yeah, I never really saw him in the comics until after that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
I didn't know he was in that.
It's quite an introduction to him as well, because he was the main character. Batman's only at the beginning of the first episode and then the very end of the second episode, so everything is centred on Jonah Hex.
I can't remember how they got Batman to be in his time.
Batman wasn't. It was something to do with Ra's al Ghul,
Right.
and his son was the enemy of Jonah Hex.
Oh, okay.
But at the end of it, Batman sees Rash's son, who's not immortal but very sort of slow aging.
Mm.
He's an elderly man at this point,
Oh, okay.
and Rash says, "Do you seriously think that an immortal like me has only reproduced once?" The meaning Tala. So it turns out Rash has been quite active in the Wild West as well.
Has anybody seen that film that they did with
No.
No,
what's his name, Josh
Never
Brolin?
saw that.
Yeah, no, I've never
Is
seen
that
it.
the Megan Fox one?
Yeah.
No.
Very good.
No, I've never seen it.
No.
I just wondered if anybody else had actually gone around and seen it.
No, I haven't.
It didn't come
Oh,
out.
but he doesn't.
Jonah Hex was one of those classic Western comics, and they did quite a lot in the 70s
Mm-hmm.
and then in the 80s. But towards the end of the 80s, they ended up going to kind of science fiction as well.
Yeah, he went into the future. Jonah Hex went into the future, and then it was just called Hex.
Ah.
Which I remember quite enjoying at the time. I mean, it's generally regarded as being crap, but it entertained me at the time. You know, if you're a kid, you loved it. Science fiction, you know,
But yeah.
brilliant.
I remember there always being quite a lot of Jonah Hexes about in stands, and I always thought,
Yeah.
well, it doesn't sell well, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was never that inclined to pick any up, really.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely
I like the films.
That's a nice issue, that one.
It's definitely a favourite of mine.
You've got that look of the hands don't want to
Let it go.
Yeah.
I've felt that before.
It's too nice.
I'm not good at this.
I've just flicked through it twice. I didn't need to, I just did.
Yeah.
Do a third time, just third time like it.
Yeah, thank you. I like that.
It's that sequence where the house is burnt down and then he gets the villain that did it, and you just see them hanging in the last panel. It's like Jonah Hex got them. He doesn't mess up.
Oh yeah.
It's like, there you go. That's what happens.
I like that page before the dynamite went off, where he shoots the guy. Wrong choice.
I'd be surprised if DC published anything like that nowadays, with anyone hanging.
It'll be Vertical, right? Vertical, DC's adult wing probably would.
Yeah, they'd be all over it.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I'll tell you who would have always that, probably Marvel wouldn't do that. Owned by Disney. You have more chance to actually see it by DC than actually by Marvel.
Does Marvel have an equivalent of Jonah Hex?
Two Gun Kid.
Marvel had few character comics. Like Two Gun Kid was one of them. Pistol Kid.
He's like a magician, isn't he?
There's another one as well.
Kirby.
Yep. There's another one as well.
Is there another? Well, the Ghost Rider was.
And the Ghost Rider originally was as well.
He did have a horse before a bike.
Yep. He's all in white.
I remember in the 80s there was the West Coast Avengers and they time traveling back in time and they made Two Gun Kid, the classic Ghost Rider and a few others.
I remember a cowboy in the Avengers.
Yeah.
In that Korvac saga. The Jim Shooter. And there's a one opening page and there's like 20 Avengers and one of them's a cowboy.
Yes, because
I can't think who it is.
he travelled back in time because there was Hawkeye spent time in the West so many years in the classic and then he came back as well in the future. So yeah, there was all this time travelling.
What was Lone Ranger on? Was he a Marvel?
Lone Ranger?
Yeah. Did they do the stories for him on Marvel or was he? Yeah, there was.
No, the most recent Lone Ranger that I know, I believe, was Dynamite.
Oh, was it?
He did comics not long ago.
But
classic ones, I don't know.
This is Two Gun Kid, Jack Kirby. Come on.
Amazing.
Rawhide Kid.
Rawhide Kid,
as well.
yes.
Rawhide Kid, that's it.
One.
I was sitting going,
Oh, this is the stuff.
There's some Scottish language in here. Ned.
Oh my God,
Have a look at this, man.
Oh, that's
Early 60s.
beautiful.
That was like a reprint. Marvel Milestones. Two Gun Kid.
Kid and Rawhide Kid.
I remember a more recent Lone Ranger thing. Did you just say that? Yeah.
yeah, none
Like in the last, I don't know, 10 years or something.
Gold Key did the original ones.
Gold Key. Oh.
Gold Kid, he was at the time.
And Dale. That looks like
Yes, Dale.
Mm-hmm.
Dale and Gold Kid, they have a lot of licensed comics
Yeah.
from TV series and films.
That's the old Gold Key Star Treks.
Star Trek, the Gold Kid, yeah.
Brilliant. They're the best Star Trek films.
I love these
Yeah.
questions.
That were coming out while the TV series.
Yeah.
I got the
Wait, is
first
that the
two.
ones that you got collected?
I got 4 trade
Yeah,
paperbacks.
yeah,
So, yeah.
I got the first 2 issues of the Star Trek Gold Key.
Yeah.
No separate, it's a reprint. I have them.
Nice though.
Yeah,
Very
yeah,
nice.
very nice.
Sweet.
Were you ever tempted to send away for any of these?
No.
No.
Is that patches?
Well, any of the stuff that they have advertised. I was never. I don't think I ever managed to.
I did it with
always
some of
thought
the
about
British
it.
ones.
Like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Some of the British.
You'd have to wait 4 weeks for delivery.
Yeah, they'd have things like Star Wars posters, you know. And so you'd send off and they'd send back a letter saying, sorry, they're all sold out. That kind of thing.
Well, we used to do that, like collect so many tokens and you stick them to the thing and then send them off, and then you'd never hear anything.
I know, it's tragic.
Yeah. Used to do that with the cereal.
Yeah.
Loads of things on cereal, cut the things out from the back, stick them to the original top that you got, and then send them off. And it would be like 4 weeks later, and they would send it back, like, due to the influx of demands, we don't have any of these, but here's a letter from fucking Tony the Tiger or something like that.
It's going to taste great.
We only produced 1,000. We didn't realise we'd get
Such a high demand.
60,000 children wanting it.
This Kirby Western comic, you know, it's just another kind of comic that he was good at doing, you know.
Yeah, I like the look of it.
Yeah.
Nice wee cheeky handshake.
Talking about Kirby, I have my Mr. Miracle graphic novel. I forgot to bring it up, but
Did you get it?
yes, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
I bet it's lovely.
It's great stuff. And I'm reading along very slow. There's some episodes. There's one issue that I've just read, and it's so good. And it's about this character that appears, which essentially is based in Stan Lee.
Yeah, I know who
He's just a charlatan essentially in the comic.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh yeah,
funky, innit?
yeah, something
Funky Flashman.
Funky Flashman. That's the one. Yes.
Yeah, I remember. And he's like, come on, let's go! And the wig's falling off and everything.
I'm going to look him up on the DC
his
Encyclopedia.
His 8th
Funky
sidekick,
Flashman.
which is essentially Roy Thomas.
That's right, he's like, oh, and he's so...
Yeah, but
it's funky.
when he's in danger, he throws Roy Thomas out the window.
Yeah, he's like...
And he ran away.
Brilliant, absolutely
And
brilliant.
I thought, oh goodness, yes.
Oh, I bet that's a lovely looking book.
It's
Is it
beautiful.
on nice paper? Not too shiny paper? Or...
It's not too shiny, no, it's relatively thin, not too
Was
expensive.
that like 20 quid?
£18.
£18?
What is the strange secret
Oh,
of
you
magic?
got my Mr. Miracle book. All the Mr. Miracle.
I've never read it.
£18.
Reminds me of
Came out on
Bucky
the
from
lab.
Captain
You're looking
America.
for Kirby stuff.
Yeah. I nearly went and made the plunge for that.
What one?
New Gods, but then
Mr. Miracle's a good one to start.
yeah,
Mr. is a good one to get into that because
That's
it's
part
linked.
of
It's part
Yeah.
of the new goals.
And a nice bit of
But it's
barber.
very accessible.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
the
it's
yeah,
is Mr. Miracle in that New Gods omnibus?
yeah.
So that
No,
that thing you bought,
it's part of the same sort of
universe,
saga universe.
but it's not in that omnibus.
No.
Interesting choice, that.
Yeah, I don't know why they put it separately. But yeah,
Oh well, let's see what else I've got.
what else do you have there, Dave? You've got lots.
Okay, I brought this one that I bought about 10 years ago. Gus and his gang. Chris Blaine. First second publishing. This was a really good read.
Good publisher.
It's got a kind of nice indie feel. You know, it's because it's got the nice art, cartoony, but then just having a read through it and just the first page, he's even said, you know, oh, I got a letter from Natalie. You know, I knew her 5 years ago in Cincinnati. I was part of the Wild West show. I chose her out of the audience. His pal goes, did you bone her? No. So that's the first page. So it's kind of earthy, you know.
Yeah.
It's guys. It's guys. And it's got a lot of humour. And just look at the art, it looks so loose and nice colours and everything. Yeah, it's a really nice little book, that Gus and his gang. I'm sure I got this in FOP or something.
Love a bit of first second publishing.
Yeah, they choose really nice stuff.
Yeah.
So I would recommend that. I enjoyed that a lot.
Is it not first second that do the science comics? Remember the ones that Mike brought around? Science comics. Was there not first second that published them?
Oh yeah, I've got the dinosaur one.
Got
Yeah.
Science,
Yeah.
yes. Different sort of flying machines, dinosaurs, plagues, yeah.
They've just had a new one
yeah.
come out as dogs. So that's how I remember.
Dogs.
Yeah. First second are good.
I like that Wii format. There is something there in that sort of format. It's quite...
Is it a one-off book then?
I don't know if there's more or not. Honestly, I'm quite ignorant about it. Apart
Does
from
it
having
seem
bought
like
it.
a first sort of
No, I think it could have went on.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's not like one story.
No.
It's a series of different things.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, it's not one.
but it's the same characters.
Yeah, but it's
different
not-
wee stories
right,
about
right.
them. Yeah.
So it's not like an epic.
No, it's not like start, middle, end. You know.
Does anyone remember the cartoon series called Brave Star?
No.
Yes, in the future. There's a
yeah.
western in the future, wasn't there?
It was out of space.
The
But
kind
it
of-
was
Is it kind of blue and white?
it was like a Filmation, I think, did the animation. The guys who did He-Man, Masters of the Universe.
Yes, and they did brought toys as well.
Yeah.
No, and then
I kind of
it's a
think,
action figure. and things
vaguely
like
think
that.
there was a comic series based on that. But it was either Marvel or
Yeah.
DC. Probably Marvel would have
I
done
think it
that.
was Marvel who did that actually.
Mm.
Who did that licensed comic, yeah.
And again, he was the first Native American hero in a proper science fiction western cartoon series. But he wasn't dressed like Turek or anything like that. He wore like the cowboy outfit,
Yeah,
he had
he
the
was a
cowboy
cowboy,
hat,
Yeah.
and he had like a cyborg robot horse.
Yes.
And his main villain was like a long white haired sort of zombie cowboy.
I don't remember the vibe, I remember the robot
He had
horse.
purple skin, sort of like orangey eyes.
Yeah.
There was even one episode where they were both captured by these aliens and they were in a cage and they both actually had to set aside their differences and work together. But all the other episodes they were trying to kill each other.
Of course.
And there was
gonna
comic
look it
relief, there was like a little sort of fuzzy prairie dog thing with buck teeth and he always calls him, he says, "Gee, Fuzz." That was his sidekick, like with ginger hair, a bit like Snarf from the Thundercats.
Okay. Now
I might be
can
getting
remember
in depth now.
Yeah, you're getting deaf now. I can remember that. I remember Brave Star, I remember that, yeah, but that's all I remember probably.
That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah, Gus, Chris Blaine.
Yeah, that's really good.
Really good.
Really nice.
Gus and his gun.
You got anything else in that bag of goodies?
I do, yeah.
The dog
there's
got
plenty.
something else in his
Lots of
bag.
he's always got just one hiding. Like,
There's
Do you remember that last one? It was
one by
like
one, he just
thing after it was
it's
like,
created a
amazing.
suspense and you
I
know,
just
a
like to-
demand.
Yeah, I just like to put them out one at a time.
I like
You
it.
savour it, you know, savour the
You enjoy it.
savour the flavour.
One course at a time rather than a buffet.
Yeah. So this one was a little indie thing from about 50 years ago that I just bought for no reason really other than just liking the look of it. The Cisco Kid. I think it's an old character, they've redone him.
Do you remember if you enjoyed it?
Yes. I mean, I like the look of it. I think it was standard kind of Western stuff. From what I remember, there was no... It was just a straightforward Western thing with these kind of characters and, you know, a bit rough and ready. So Moonstone Publishing, I don't know if that's... So there it was, number one. And it's just got nice kind of black and white art. No idea who these people are. Story, Jim Duffy. Illustrations, Jerry DeCare.
Jim Duffy.
2004. Okay.
No.
So, yeah, it's just kind of standard Western stuff, but, you know, quite liked it. I mean, I think it...
A brawl in the saloon.
Chopped off the finger. So it's kind of hard, tough. Somebody's thinking, I'll do a straightforward, hard Western, you
Yeah,
know.
it's kind of Klaus Janson
Yes,
style
it's
of
a bit-
pencil, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean,
that sloppy ink and it's
With
lovely.
that sort of a style.
Yeah, so you know, it was worth reading, and I'm glad I bought it. I think now in the official history of comics, this probably doesn't register anywhere at all, as far as I know.
It'll be in the Grand Comics database.
It'll be in a 20 pence bin somewhere if you're lucky.
Cool.
So you enjoyed it?
Yeah, it looked nice, you know, worth a look, guys.
I like the cover.
With the poncho.
Nice.
I like the cover.
They'll be extremely happy. Everyone that took part in that comic, as you know, will be extremely happy that
Somebody read it.
you read it and that you like it.
Yeah. Although I must say, I didn't buy number 2. I thought I've got the flavour of it. That'll do. Sorry, guys, if you were feeling
That's
cheered up
alright.
after 15 years there to just dash your hopes again.
Oh, so I was right to just kick the stool out from under me. Right, here we go. Move.
Yeah, just a little oddity, you know.
Yeah.
A bit of bot.
Yes, it's nice when you
Nice.
get across it. Yeah.
You got more there. I know you have
I've
at
got-
least another one.
I've
At
got one
least.
more. I've got one more.
At least.
Yeah, there's always, you know,
There is more. I can see.
one in the chamber there.
So we're going back to
The
Eagle.
last bullet.
Eagle in the 80s
Eagle in the 80s.
with the photo strips, and they did a photo comic western, Saddle Tramp. His job was dirty, so was the money he earned. The blazing new photo story starts inside Saddle Tramp.
Tempest, Thunderbolt and Smokey,
Down
Dan
there,
there and Joe Soap. Oh,
starring in Powerful Adventures.
Wow.
This is June 1982.
Classic.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, it's in good nick, isn't it?
Well, it's in okay nick. I've always been quite careful. So, but you know, I wrote my name on it, so if I lost it, somebody
It's
can get
yours.
it back to me.
Yeah. David R.
And you know, they didn't used to put the number on, so I sat with them all and wrote the numbers on because that annoyed me. So this is number 14 of Eagle.
Oh, the start without putting it.
They put one. I remember they did 1, 2, maybe 3, and then I think
Wow, so that's early on in its run.
oh yeah, number 14. Also,
God, I remember when
featuring
it
Barry
came
Sheen,
out,
Mike
man, the excitement
Eagle.
of a new comic coming out. It was like, fuck,
Oh,
it's
no.
gonna be good. Lots of boys' stories and
So
stuff.
I'll jump to the Saddle Tramp story. Thunderbolt and Smokey. I loved all these.
I never
stories.
remember it having so many photograph stories.
Here we go. Saddle Tramp. They did away with the photo comics after a while because it was too expensive. You know, you
Well,
had to
yeah.
hire models and do all that kind of thing. So here we are. Great. And this guy here is the cowboy. Look at him.
He
He's
is
like
a
a
cow.
hippie.
He is a cow.
I remember reading
He's
this.
a cowboy at playing
I
a
remember reading this, and
cowboy.
my dad laughed at this Saddle Tramp. And I remember saying, "What are you laughing at?" He says, "He doesn't look like a cowboy." You know, he just was actually laughing at the and not in a good way.
No.
And I never quite understood why he didn't look like a cowboy.
Is this what I gave you 12 pence for?
Was it 20p?
20 pence.
It's quite expensive. So there's 4 pages of Western photo action to have a look through. And the guy's even called Santana. There's a character in it that's called Santana.
You've also got Kenny Everett on the
They
back.
did struggle with the
Yeah.
names of the what?
Kenny
What
Everett.
was on the radio? All right.
So loads of good stuff in there. Cisco Kid,
Santana, there you are.
Oddity, but nice. So you know that's what I brought. But the Eagle was great in the 80s. Did you read
Some of it, yeah. But I think maybe I came to it.
Okay, I don't know.
I don't think I had enough pocket money allowance to allow to spread out into Eagle as well and other things.
You had to pick and choose, didn't you?
Yeah,
This week I'll have one of them. This week I'll have one of
because
them.
some my mum did pay for some regulars.
Whoa.
It's funny you're saying about ever sending away for things.
Ah,
I didn't,
yeah.
but I used to like filling out the wee box. You know,
Yeah,
I wanted
Just
your
in case when
details.
they decide to.
Yeah.
I couldn't have gone that far without getting that.
Nice.
I didn't really. Yeah, I must have
Maybe the
started reading it quite late because
Well, I think it
I
lasted
don't
a year
remember
or
them.
something. The photo stories.
right, yeah, because I don't remember many photo
I
stories.
used to love the photo stories. They were great.
It's not something I.
Did they do ones like where it was like a boy and his teacher, like he'd be playing football and he accidentally put the ball through the window or something like that?
That
Picture
sounds like
stories
exactly
like
the sort of thing that would have happened.
Yeah, see, I'm sure I've read shit.
They
like
had a
that.
football story, Thunderbolt and Smokey. It was about them. It was a football team.
It must be the same thing.
Yeah.
I've read that.
They used to have one, the Invisible Boy, and he had like a watch battery, you know, at the back of a watch, and then he would hold it, and when he went like that, the whole picture turned negative. And then after that, he was invisible. He wasn't in the.
There was just nobody in the
There
photo.
was nobody in the photos. It was just great. It was so
Cheap
well done.
produced it. Give me the model for it. just meant there's a lot of speech bubble and no one there.
Yeah, there's a lot of pictures of scenery.
I don't know if he's in that one.
And now, Invisible Boy stands in a field.
Yeah.
Lots of
And
cows.
they were able to have him fading back, you know, with the exposure,
Yeah.
so that, like, and he'd be halfway there.
Tell us about your dad and you could win yourself £5 plus a Brook 33 travel bag and Fabergé products for your dad. Hey Dad, I got you a Brook 33.
They used to have a thing called Glamorous Teacher, and it was send us photos of your glamorous teacher. And it was only looking back on it, I thought, you know, Peppy Kitchen. Look at this, they were just putting photos of
Yeah.
teachers, you know.
That wouldn't happen now. That would. I can guarantee that would not happen now.
You know, it's like Glamorous Teacher.
Oh yeah.
That was so
Reader Nicky Powell of
That was so the dads could be like,
Reedside Middle School
Yeah,
certainly
exactly.
has a glamorous teacher, Mrs. Hill.
Oh, the staff making it.
She wins a
Really,
box
you
of
know.
suckered elegant chocolates and a bouquet of flowers. If you have an attractive teacher,
Yeah.
then tell us about her
We want to know. Unapologetic.
oh yeah, her, no him.
and send a photo. You could win, like Nikki, £5 for yourself as well as prizes for her.
Where are these teachers? I never got any glamorous teachers.
Curly
Got belted a few times, but
stuff like this always threw me because I was like, is it a strip?
Yeah.
Or is it an ad?
Well, they
That
still
always
do
annoyed
that now, don't they? The DC comics never have been having. I read an article about quite recent ones, and it's like a comic. The advert's a comic, you know.
oh, like the Milky Bar.
And
kids.
also the current. You used to get like the one page,
Yeah.
the hostess
Yeah.
ads. So that was good. That was like a one page extra comic.
Yeah, it's Thunderbolts.
And Marvel used to do the Three Musketeers, and also
Yeah.
how was this sponge cake that was very famous in the States?
Yeah, the hostess
Twinkies.
Twinkies.
Twinkies. That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
that was
millions of them.
Yeah.
They could make a whole book of them.
Yeah,
I would actually buy
absolutely.
it.
Saddle
Yeah, the ones in the Beano always got me. It was advertisements for, once again, cereal and stuff like that, like Frosties and stuff, and it was Tony the Tiger going on an adventure with. What have I got with Tony the Tiger? But yeah, they're going on an adventure with some of the kids, and
Yeah.
they get bolted through space and time, and they meet dinosaurs, and then they get back, and it's like, oh god, after all that adventure, I need some Frosties, and you're like, that. But I always
They're
thought
going
that
to taste great.
yeah, great.
Remember the Dungeons and Dragons ones?
Oh, aye.
The 80s, they were like a one page, and it was like the wizard and the elf.
The adverts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were good.
Yeah, but
I mean, they were.
It was just annoying when I got to the end and was like, buy it now. Like,
Yeah, it was,
Fuck.
yeah. Nothing. Something had always just happened,
Yeah.
and they were coming out the cave now, and then something else was waiting to happen. That was all of them seemed to be like that.
Yep.
Nothing actually ever happened.
Buy it to find out.
Buy it
more.
and find out. You decide.
That was annoyed me. Like the rest of it was great. It was buy it now, and you're like, I've been duped. It's an ad. It's not an actual strip. I've been duped.
I sent away for Milky Bar Animal Club comic when I was a kid. I don't think I have it anymore, but half the story was about the animals from Animal Bar, but the other half was about the Milky Bar kid who goes around
And of course, he was a
shooting
cowboy,
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was strong.
But at the very end, once he's beaten all the foes, he has a whole batch of Milky Bars to give to all the villagers who are all children the same age as him.
Kick the shit out of him and steal his milky bars.
I think the dentist was sponsoring him.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds like it.
So there's the quality that was Eagle every week.
I didn't have anything other than All-Star
so-
Western, and whilst we were talking, I thought of another one which maybe I read, which would have been maybe good for it, but I didn't think of it at the time. But Rebels on Dark Horse. Did you read that?
Yes.
The one set during the War of Independence.
Oh yeah.
So it's
Yeah, was that- is that not still
proper
going?
Western.
How
Is
did
that
that
still
one?
going?
I don't know.
I
Maybe it
think
is.
that's just wrapped up recently. It was Rebels, the freeing something state or something like that.
Stamps worth £1.
Maybe, yeah.
Garth Ennis, wasn't it?
No, I don't think so.
Sure it was. Was it not him? Because he's really into his history.
Oh, it might have been.
Sure, it was Rebels.
But I enjoyed it. It was
Yeah.
it was good.
I
Do you understand?
brought. That's alright. You can have that one if you want. That's the one from the only one I have. Lieutenant Blueberry by Charlier and Giraud. And this is a classic of European comics, and it's a classic of the Western.
Yeah.
Covers are really good, painted by Jean Giraud Moebius.
Chihuahua Pearl.
And I brought a selection of different albums from him. You can see how the art evolves, because he started, if I remember correctly, very late 60s, early 70s, and as he goes along in the 80s and then towards the 90s. And it's a classic. It's really, really good. Following the stories of an ex-army soldier and his adventures, and it has this sort of, he's a womanizer, he lies gambling.
Who? This
Lieutenant Blueberry, yeah, and he always gets into trouble. And not necessarily because it's his fault, but I always try to blame him, and he needs them to prove his innocence and try to catch the baddies. And so it's a classic Western story. So it's really, really good. No many of them have been published here in the UK. I think just a few of them published when they were did in the United States. I don't know, 3 or 4 albums, but there's about, I think it's about 2 or 3 dozen of them, if no more.
So these are all blueberries, but they all get their own title as the name of the story.
The name of the story, yes.
Cheers.
Very
That's
nice indeed.
And as you go along, you'll see how the art starts to go from
Maldito.
Giraud towards Moebius as it goes towards the bottom.
I love how it's like everybody's drawn really seriously, and then they get like a fool in a bar, and he's just drawn like a total clown, like complete comic.
Oh yeah.
Like he's gruff and everything in the back, and then
he's really good that character actually.
But it's like
Is he Irish? Is he meant to be Irish?
Yes.
Yeah, covered in green, ginger hair.
The stereotypes. There's quite a lot of stereotypes. Other thing.
Yeah, pero. Okay.
You say what do you say?
But why?
Oh right.
Pero por qué?
I knew por qué, but
So he started to look a little bit more Moebius in the art
Oh yeah.
and the folding.
still doing my Duolingo.
I've noticed this guy here. He looks just like Slane from 2000 AD, and I know there were some Italian and Spanish artists drew Slane. I think an Italian artist drew some of my favourite Slane stories. Was that one any possibility that it's the same artist?
No. That's the artist for at least these ones anyway. I mean, there's been other artists, but the ones I brought are all by Giraud, because Moebius.
That's a great cover, isn't it? Just
He-
for that backdrop.
Allegedly, the face of Moebius of Lieutenant Blueberry was based on an actor called Jean-Paul Belmondo, and he did few films in the 70s, and he was relatively known in France and in Spain as well. I'm not sure in Italy as well. Jean-Paul Belmondo.
Sorry?
Jean-Paul Belmondo. No, an actor from the 70s.
Maybe if I saw his
These
face.
opening panels in all these books are just
But yeah,
sort of breathtaking.
Yeah.
You know?
the face of Lieutenant
yes.
Blueberry was based on him, and
that's
then it
amazing.
slowly evolved from there.
Right.
The opening panels are fantastic.
Yeah, they are. It's
You
just
like
like fun. There
yeah.
you go. Establishing.
And now you go now.
Yeah,
This is from the 86, so now it's
The colour
this is
on
Moebius
is
now.
So the Moebius
Very
take
well
over.
done.
It's the same. Jean Giraud is Moebius.
Right.
He used to use Giraud for Western,
Right.
and then when he started to do science fiction comics,
He did
he
Moebius.
changed his name to Moebius. But it's the same person.
It's like
Jean Giraud, Moebius.
It's like Ian Banks and Ian M. Banks. Ian Banks for his thriller stuff, Ian M. Banks for his science fiction.
Yeah. But he Blueberry, to me, I know science fiction and the Incal is always one of the big ones, and I love it. But to me, it's Blueberry. There's something else in it that I just love.
This one's powerful.
It's the end of the.
There's a lot of drama and
There's a lot of
this. The fire and great colour.
Yeah, this is towards the end of the big saga where he has, because during I don't know how many albums he has to prove he's innocent, and he also he tries to prove he's innocent, that he didn't steal money, like $500,000. He has to prove he's innocent, that he's not involved in a coup in order to kill the president. He wants to catch the bodies. He has to do everything, and it's just so dramatic towards the end. How is he gonna do it? You just get.
Yeah.
It's actually
it's really good.
That's good.
Yeah.
Sort of similar.
This is one of the last ones towards the end of the saga, and if you look in the style and you compare it to the first one, you see how much has evolved style-wise. And then
This one that you got recently from Barcelona.
that one I go last year. Then when he started to be Little Blueberry, then he started to be Mr. Blueberry, and he becomes
A gentleman.
a gentleman, and then became also Marshall Blueberry in an older. So the character grows old, and Maude decided to also make it the stories more according to that.
Can I ask you, when they say this blueberry is a Zorro, is Zorro a Spanish word for something?
Zorro, fox.
Ah, right.
That's Mr. Blueberry, and this is an album they did.
You've brought that up before.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is chronologically, this story, it goes at the very beginning of the collection, but this is one of the most modern books he did.
Number 49.
Yeah. But chronologically, actually, the story, you should read this first.
Right.
It's kind of like an epilogue or sort of thing.
Hell, how many stories can they come up with?
He
It's
did.
amazing,
He
it's
did
like-
about. I borrowed this one,
Is it
and
the
I
same
left that
writer
book.
still? Is this the same writer from the beginning still? Yeah.
No, well, Charlier, yeah. Charlier is the writer.
I mean, they're all like substantial stories as
Quite
well,
a
aren't they?
cliffhanger to leave it on.
Yeah, I don't have the next one on that one. That's the Mr. Blueberry, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I need to
get that.
I need to get the next one. I know he's fine because then I know that he's doing Marshall Blueberry.
Yeah.
But
It's just when I opened it there, that was the first thing that fell in front of me. Is that, and I just
Last
thought,
page.
oh, what a striking.
yeah, as a curiosity, not all the stories by Blueberry are done by Moebius. There was a collection based on the youth of Blueberry, and Charlier is still the writer, and Giro did some of the stories, but it was Wilson who did quite a lot of work for 2000 AD. I think he's originally from Australia, and then he lived in England, and then he went back to Australia again. But he did quite a lot of Blueberry adventures as well. And then the latest one, Marshall Blueberry, because Charlier, I believe he died years ago, and then Vance, which is another European writer, who, for example, wrote Thorgal, took the pen and did the stories there with Giro. I think Giro also did some of the scripts, but most of the script is Vance.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's an absolute classic of Western comics. It's a shame that there's not very many in English, actually.
What, Blueberry?
No, I only found 3 or 4 books published years ago, and that's it. I haven't found it again. I don't know exactly why. I do hope that Cinebook they're gonna publish them someday, because they've done a lot of classic European comics like Lucky Luke or Thorgal or Blake and Mortimer, or they do It's No Good and things like that. And I do hope they're gonna do as well Blueberry, but
Movies in general, there's not very much of him in English.
No.
That's right. There's not very much
It's shocking.
because you can get the science fiction books of it
Mm.
posed by Humanoids and
Yeah.
then I think Dark Horse did for a while and then they lost the rights. Someone else is doing it. But the Western itself, the Blueberry, I've never seen very much of it.
Maybe they don't want to take the
Translation away from it.
no the risk. Maybe they don't think it's solid enough in the English reading.
I mean, in Spain, they were published. I mean, here there are books that are older than me. Many of them I bought from a guy I met in Menorca. He was getting rid of them, and I bought them at 100 pesetas each book. Now, 100 pesetas, that is about, 50p? If that.
That was a good buy.
That's a very good buy.
And I bought about, I think, 10 or 12 of them. And then I've been buying others, and it's time to fill the gaps. So yeah.
Do you know that it's them and Paco Roca's work that is the only reason that I'm learning Spanish.
Good, that's a good.
So it's
Paco
the
Roca,
only
yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
Because I want to read them and Paco Roca. And it's in its original.
How
Translation.
far down Spanish are you? How far down are you?
And also,
Very
how are you doing it?
Because
Oh, how am I doing it?
do it that way.
What, just read that?
Read that and look up all the words as you go or something.
I mean, you'll struggle with conjugation of verbs, but because it won't be in the dictionary, but it'll come up with
my
nowadays.
Duolingo isn't doing me too bad.
And that's the last one I brought.
Text.
Tex. Tex is a classic of fumetti, Italian comic. We could put Tex, Dillon Dog, Diabolic, and Corto Maltese, and these 3-4 comics are just the 3-4 comics you should read from Italy. They are magnificent. Tex is a classic. It's been published by Bonelli, which is a family. They've been doing it for decades. And the format of the comics are slightly, they are not this sort of size, the European album. They are smaller books, but have a lot of pages, about 200 odd pages. Published in cheap paper, black and white. That was the normal format, I remember, when I was a kid. This one in particular I have here is a digital version of the Tex graphic novel drawn by Joe Kubert. That Horse actually published about a year or so ago. Originally, Joe Kubert did the comic for Bonelli, for the Italian publisher. So actually, this is from 2001. But it's only recently that...
So this is the translated English version?
Yes, it's been translated into English, but it was drawn by Joe Kubert. Not all the secondary characters that normally appear in the Tex comics appear in this one, because I think it's just a story of Tex. But Tex, he's a ranger and ex-army as well, and as he goes along, he was come through the stereotype, bad, good, he tried to help the weak, and in this one in particular, he knows these people on the farm, he goes to visit them, and there's the girl, the mom and the dad, and these undesirables, they rape, kill the girl, and then kill the dog, they kill the mom and dad of the girl, and by the time that Tex actually arrives to the farm, it's too late, everyone is dead, he finds out who they are, and he's trying to chase them. But things get complicated because one of these guys is the brother of a big honcho, big kind of guy, has a lot of money and has bought the sheriff of the town, and things are very difficult. So eventually, he avenges everyone in the typical Western story. I recommend this one. If you never read a Tex comics, this is a very good example of it, and it's Joe Kubert. It's
Joe Kubert. I'm impressed that he was working direct for publishers.
There has been few artists who have been willing to work for Bonelli and do comics. Joe Kuber's there now.
Is that
Bonelli,
because
they
they're
don't
fans?
have a lot of probably they don't have.
Yeah,
they don't pay
the
the page rate that they pay is nothing compared to the American comics.
Yeah, I can imagine,
They're
yeah.
very poorly, but Joe Kuber did this one, and it's been colored for this edition. I'm not sure if in the Italian version was actually colored. I'm not sure about that, but this is the Dark Horse. That's the American one, so that's the one I have here. So have a look through, see what you think. But
When
let's
was
say
it published?
this one was posted 2016,
Originally?
2001 in Italy.
Alright, okay.
But Texas a comic has been published for decades.
Yeah.
I think it started in the 50s, I would say,
Right, okay.
or 60s.
Just going to say, it's very, like, that whole story.
Many
that's in
artists,
there.
and writers have been doing text comics.
That whole story that you said there is very Punisher-esque.
Yeah.
Very
very
the whole
much.
thing, you know.
Well, the Punisher is very much. We were talking about comics and influences. I think the Punisher is very much a Western as well. Although again, we're talking into this sort of vigilante and
Lone Outlaw.
yeah, exactly.
Reminds me of Once Upon a Time in the
Lone
West.
Ranger. That's amazing. What was that?
The film Once Upon a Time in the West, that reminds me of that when the family's massacred and there's a lone gunman looking out for revenge.
You know, that's a classic Western story, 200 odd pages, and it's really good. Yeah, I really enjoy that actually.
It looks good.
That was great.
He goes through quite a...
Oh yeah,
that bit there.
you suffer and it goes through all that. And it's
The fall.
oh yeah.
I love it, like, because he's catching himself, though, you know, he's going to be alright. Although, you'd be fucking dead.
But you suffer with him and you go through it and really you go. It just really. I know it's very simple and it's not something that we've seen or heard or watched many times, but it's you really go for him. You go, yeah, come on, Tex, you can do it. Come on,
Stuff him!
go and get the bastards and just catch them and kill them. You know, you just root. You just want to, you know. So yeah, it makes you
good at that.
Yeah. And it's just that. And it's
And the
like
film
Blueberry is
job
a
so
big.
bad.
It can be, you know. There's big sagas in Blueberry. That one, you know, you have the book.
Yeah.
Each book is a story, and
And it seems.
Did you say you had all the
Virus.
Secret History #1?
I got Secret History #1. Yes,
In individual...
I got an individual comic.
Yeah. How many is there? 12? 10?
I want to say 18.
18.
Yeah,
But,
I think I have in the tablet, in digital as well. Let me check.
yeah, I've got digital, but I'm just struggling with it.
You know, it's a boring technical point, but I found it interesting. The thought bubbles in this text, they're not the little clouds. They're the same as the speech balloons. They're all round. They've still got the little red round dots coming off them.
I noticed that when he has the fall, he's going, no,
Every time
no,
he's
you
thinking,
bastard.
it's
But it was the thought.
yeah. So now there's none.
I was going to say, I didn't know if... I always got a feeling from Walking Dead that it was very Wild West-esque.
Yeah, it's very much because it's
a
what
sheriff.
they're playing. What Hickman in the comics and in the comics and in the TV series, what he's playing is with that is there's no law, there's no establishment, there's no an organization where you can fall back. Society is broken.
Yeah.
Like pretty much how it was in the Wild West. So it's you just have to fence for yourself,
And it's this lone sheriff.
It's either you
waking
or
up
me.
on a mission
and then you have the main character. Yeah, he's in this case he's a sheriff.
Yeah.
And he's still a sheriff. Was a sheriff in the modern times, and he's a sheriff in this sort of Wild West environment. So yeah, it's a western from that point of view.
It was. I read through the first compendium, and I got that whole feeling as I was going through. It was just Jesus. This is just
And
like
he just
whole Wild West.
He gets, and especially in the beginning, he's this caravan of people and trying to lead the caravan of families to save.
Safety. Yeah.
There's a TV series, but I think they did make a comic of it, Firefly.
Yeah.
Did they make a
Yeah, they
comic?
did. They made a continue. That was a dark horse.
That was a
probably.
good TV series.
What was that?
Firefly.
Is that the one that
Cowboy
film
set in
called
the
something
future.
else?
Yeah, Serenity.
But yeah, I saw the film.
Oh
I
yeah,
saw the
Firefly. Yes, Josh Whedon. I have the TV series.
Yeah, it's good.
DVD. It's
TV
good. Yeah,
series.
yeah, yeah.
Anybody been reading anything of interest recently?
Oh god.
I read all the Invisibles
And
in the past month.
so
Yeah, really enjoyed it at the start, and then it got to be a bit. Yeah, towards the end, I was like, "Well, come on, what's what here?" You know, but not in a good way. Like I'm intrigued. Like you're taking the piss.
This is
But I found
This
this.
is Morrison we're speaking about. Right?
I found some of the earlier stuff quite prescient.
yeah.
Some of them storylines kind of ended up kind of playing out a bit, like with Diana and stuff. But I enjoyed it, and I'm nearly finished the Contract with God, Will Eisner.
Oh,
The Contract with God trilogy.
Good shout.
Yeah.
Beautiful. The trilogy. So
Yeah, it's
they're all
lovely.
the different stories. Yeah.
Lovely.
Enjoy
And
it.
the artwork, I think it's the first book I've ever read by him. God, that's bad, isn't it? But his art reminded me of, I wonder whether Eric Powell from Big Man's Plans was a fan of his. The styles, there's quite a bit of,
Eisner's influenced
Yeah, but-
everybody.
beautiful, and the writing, and really like powerful, some of it.
The Eisner stuff is just amazing.
Yeah, it's really good, so I'm really enjoying that.
I did read one book, but I'll bring that in one day. It was by the guy who did the those Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker comics where there's Darth Vader's got Luke Skywalker. I think so. Yeah, he did a graphic novel about Neanderthals. And I read that recently, and it sort of merges it with the story and then some facts. So at the end of every chapter, there's a couple of modern day anthropologists saying how we know this and how we know that, and then the story continues. But I'll bring that next time.
Yeah. I think Jeffrey Brown, kids are weird.
Oh, is that him?
Yeah.
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 Well, Vader and Son and Vader and Little.
Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah.
Vader and
I
Friends.
love that.
They're really good.
Always love always love this stuff.
It's done in this drawn in the same style,
Yeah.
handwritten text.
Sounds good.
Yeah. David, anything?
I got another. Remember I read the Star Trek newspaper strips?
Yes.
The ones from 1980.
Mm-hmm.
They've collected earlier ones from the late 60s.
With the weird volume numbers.
Yeah, and it's from the British comics at the time, TV 21 and all those things.
Right.
So it's good. It's like a British take on it, you know.
Mm.
Even the first couple of episodes, they call him Captain Kurt. You know, the details are all wrong and everything. And like they'll have an adventure. One of them that sticks in mind is they'll have an adventure that finishes, and then they're back on board, and just to relax, they're all playing football. Of course, you know, and it's like British football, not American football. You know, the goalposts and everything. So it's like it's a real British. It's an oddity.
Yeah.
Very enjoyable. So yeah, it's good. Yeah. And there's a lot of great art in it. Jim Bakey and everything, full painted stuff, you know. Yeah. So I've been flicking through that. Cool. Enjoying that.
Cool.
Mr. Miracle. Jack Kirby.
You've been into good stuff.
Mr. Big Off, I'm really enjoying that. Really good.
How big is it? I mean, what are you looking at? 300 pages or something?
Something like that, I think it's 300 pages.
You must bring it in.
Yes, I will. You can have a look. You can have a look.
I'm gonna look at Watterson and see if I can see it on the shelf.
I picked up another issue actually.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
good.
while we're on the topic.
Ooh.
For £3. There's 18, I think I've got about 12. So I'm
Right.
just, you know,
Getting
as
close.
the years and decades go by, you just pick up another one.
You're getting
And
close.
they're always great. You know the thing
Was
with
that
Kirby,
eBay?
you know, it's all so old now. It's like decades old, but I still open up a new one that I've never seen. I mean, this one, Oberon's in it, and he looks in the mirror, and then there's like a demon, and he goes, "Whoa!" and then like he runs off, and then his head's on fire and everything. I mean, the imagery is amazing. Jesus. It's so, you know, Kirby, he never runs out of ways to make me be reading it going, bloody hell, you know.
Yeah.
So I just love it.
Good.
But even though we talked about this before, didn't we? Like, even though I've got them, I want that book.
You want that?
Yeah.
I want that book. When you bring that book in, I'm going to be like, you know, it's the same with the Star Wars ones.
Was that a shop find or online?
It was a
That
shop fight,
list.
well, like a stall,
Issue.
like a con, you know.
Right.
Yeah. And the collected all. Did you see they've done a massive omnibus of the Justice League International?
Yes.
Like a massive thing. It's got like about
And
60 issues.
there
in
are
it.
misprints in it.
Yeah, and 2 pages are up to order and stuff.
What?
Oh, and it's actually not even the best
dear.
quality, is it? I saw like some of the reproduction is quite it's not very good.
Faded. Yeah.
Faded and stuff. Yeah.
It's very poor.
So get the issues, you know. But still, if I saw that book, that
This
would be
DC
another
is recalling the book and they're gonna reprint it. I think so.
They are recalling it,
Yes, they are recalling the book.
Wow,
yeah.
that's
So you
expensive.
so if you have a
Somebody will
copy,
get
the,
sacked for that.
Yeah.
After producing all that,
Yeah.
well, they are expensive editions. So
Yeah, they're enormous, aren't they?
Well, yeah, because I mean, you know, if someone spent whatever 60
Well,
quid, 70
60,
quid,
80 quid or
It's like,
because
yeah,
I think someone
fucking
about
hell, man.
$100 price cover or something like that.
in the long run though, that'll be the more valuable one, probably.
Perhaps, but I think it's a reprint of the stories. They've been reprinted before, so it's kind of really. Is it gonna be really?
I was kind of thinking that was the first time it was all sort of.
Well, those trade paperbacks came out over the past 10 years or so.
So
I was. Have any of you boys watched Superman with your kids? The first one.
Oh yeah.
yes,
How old were they when you first watched it?
4.
Right.
4.
it was on TV no long ago, and I put it
You mean
on with the
Christopher
kids.
Reeves, yeah?
Yeah, because I
And-
was.
But my son was like, after a while, it goes, nah, this is boring. Had enough.
Oh really?
Yeah, he went.
Maybe he was too old then. No, how old is he?
He's 12.
Yeah, I think maybe by the time they've reached 12, it might be a bit slow for them, especially in this generation.
I think that's part of the problem. Is because I said to him, look, this is an old film. So this is no crash boom bang. Here we go. This is there's pacing and it's gonna be slower, you know, and they're gonna tell you the origin and you'll see Superman and you'll see his powers, but
Yeah.
very late in the film and only occasionally and only certain things and who's the baddie? They say, well, you just watch the film and so yeah.
Yeah, because I was looking into whether it'd be suitable for me and my boy, and then I was reading reviews because obviously I've not seen it for a long time, and then I watched the video like actually saying, you know, it's a great film in its own right.
Yes.
Yeah.
In its own right, it's a great film,
It
and
is.
there hasn't been another one like it of
I
any
don't think so.
hero. And actually, when they were going through it, and I was remembering bits from it, I'm like, yeah, man, it's brilliant, isn't it? All of it is just absolutely
Yeah.
brilliant.
The director.
Yeah, the second one's good as well, but the first one.
The second one.
And the rest of them,
The problem with the
they have
second one
much
is
CGI and stars. And
part of it
tipping
was
as they
directed
want,
by the
but-
same director,
Mm-hmm.
but then the producers, the owner said no. They fire him and they got someone else and they did a hash mashup
Yes, I'm
thing
gonna
that
watch it
doesn't
soon
quite
with it.
work.
The problem with the second one is that there's an entirely different fucking cut.
Yes.
That you can watch a whole separate film from
Yes.
the actual thing. So
Yes.
there's
The
literally
second
two
one.
versions
Is
of
that-
the
Yeah.
second one. Yeah. So there's the Donner cut.
Right.
There's the
Which is-
Donner cut, and
is-
then there's the
Which is the
producer's
good
cut.
one.
Yeah. Well, apparently so. It's got more of a coherent story.
The
and
Donner
takes you
cut.
through things.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I
Donner,
imagine
the
it has to
original
be, so he
director.
was the man behind the first one, wasn't
Yeah,
he?
fan.
Yeah.
He was a fan. He's a
Yeah.
fanboy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was that film.
That-
I'm looking forward to seeing it after so many years.
Funnily enough, I
Maybe.
just was watching that while I was working, like about the second one, and I'd heard it ages ago. Donner saying like he really wanted the three of them, you know, Zod and Non and Ursa, isn't it?
Yes.
And he says he really wanted them to be like scary, evil people. And they were going to be serious villains. And I always read that and thought, well, they're
Yeah,
scary.
yeah, I thought they were scary.
I never
man.
quite knew what he meant by that. But then there was like one scene bit that he filmed for it and they showed it on this documentary. And you know, they're in that town, you know, when they land on the planet.
Yeah.
And he's like, and he says, nobody leaves this town. Zod was like, nobody's leaving this town unless I say. And there's like a wee boy in the scene, and he like runs off and jumps on the horse, and he's away like that. And he goes, Non. And you know, Non was holding the red. He ripped it off the. I don't know if you remember. He rips off the alarm off the police car.
Yeah.
He goes, Non, and Non just throws it like that, and it hits the wee boy in the head. Poof, dead.
Oh.
Right, dead. And he's like, I said nobody was to leave, you know. And they went, he was just a boy. And Ursula's like, well, he'll never be a man.
Whoa!
And I thought, man, that is evil. I'm too scared of the film.
So that's not even in that Richard Donner cut then, I imagine.
Well, I watched the Donner
actually.
cut, and I can't remember. It was years ago I watched the Donner cut.
How different are they?
The beginning is totally different.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they go to Paris and everything, and the Eiffel Tower, none of that's in it. It's a completely different thing.
No, I can't remember that bit. That's in the official one, is it?
That's the official one.
I remember it being a whole different plot.
The
Yeah,
beginning is totally different.
Everything was yeah.
Where can you watch them? On the internet?
No, you can
They
get
came
them.
out on DVD.
They came out on
Yeah.
DVD. The Donner cut came out on DVD.
So yeah, you can watch them on the internet.
Yeah, probably
Yeah.
just YouTube.
Yeah.
I bought, there was a box set about 10 years ago, and it had all 4 of them in and a load of extra stuff, and the Donner cut was in that. And
See, I only read in the
First,
last
do
few
you know
years I
what?
watched that Superman Returns. Is that the 4th one?
No, the 4th one was it Nuclear Man?
Nuclear
or Atom Man. Or,
Quest for Peace.
Just
Yeah.
in case, yeah.
it's notorious
There's a story
because
behind
they
that.
had
I've not
very little
seen
money
that.
behind it. And
I'm not
The guy
sure.
stole half the money.
aye.
Did you? That was
Who?
he says like, yeah, well, 40 million. Somebody ran away with 20 million. And they still had to make it. This total producer, you know, gangster guy, you know, all these
Yeah.
Hollywood assholes behind the scene that are just thieves
Yeah.
and murderers and
Whatever
steal all
else.
the money, yeah. You know.
Um,
But you know, just there was one more bit just that I remember was Zod. You know, the break into the White House, and they're all running in and they're just beating them all up, and it's no problem. And then the guys come in with the machine guns, and Zod's like, boof, and then he's got the machine gun, and he's just like, oh. And then he just starts shooting them. And he's like, whoa! And, you know, he's just quite enjoying it, shooting them with the gun, and he's like, oh, and throws it away. So it just takes a wee couple of seconds to enjoy the slaughter. You know, there was no need for him to shoot them with a gun.
Not sure how evil he was.
But Superman 2 was good. I mean, I enjoyed it at the time. But Superman 1, you're right. That's, I mean, when you look at that,
That's
they
just
got Mario
standalone.
Puzo to write it. And
Yeah, I never realised that was a good job.
they really made a great job of it.
I mean, that's the
It's
guy
still
from
my
Bread
favourite.
and Wine and stuff, innit?
The Godfather.
The
Yeah.
Godfather.
Godfather.
And Marlon
Am I thinking of the
Brando.
same guy, Mario Puzo?
Mario Puzo, the Godfather, right?
Yeah, was he the writer?
Yes.
The
The-
novelist.
Yes.
Yeah.
The guy who did
Yes.
Bread and Wine.
I'm not sure, but certainly the Godfather.
Let's look at that American vampire you've got there.
Yeah. And three's Richard Pryor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I'll tell
that's
you,
good as well, but it's
When
not
that
the same.
woman turns into a...
That used to freak me out
Yeah,
as
the
a
robot.
kid.
Yeah, that's
Especially when you
freaky.
see her eyes.
That's really freaky.
I remember that, yeah, that's kind
And
of
then
good.
Superman turns evil with the kryptonite.
Then
Yeah.
Superman battles himself.
Yeah, that's a great scene, that. So you're going to get Superman the movie DVD?
Yeah.
Yes is the answer.
Yes.
The answer is yes. The answer is always
I'd be
yes.
interested to watch that documentary.
It was online, that's what.
Could
I'll send you the link.
Yeah.
It's like
Can
an
I
hour
watch
and a
this?
half.
An hour and a half, right, cool.
Yeah.
Just quickly, the ones I wanted to mention that I was reading
Yeah.
is there's ones that I wanted to Saul to have a wee look at because I've read them. They're quite short. New York by Elizabeth Querstret.
Oh yeah.
Sid by Olivia Sullivan. Stir Fry by Sarah Crosby. Self-Care and Vegetables by Rosie Hathaway. And FLD, or Flood, by Bob Turner. They were all ones that were really good and worth a look. I think I've sent you links for them. But they're ones definitely to have a wee read through.
Right.
They're really, really good.
Okay.
Cosmos and Other Stories by Rosie Hathaway, that's really good as well. And 4 Letters by Roger Langridge. That one was really, really good. 4 Letters was, on the front cover it has like an old American style, like 1920s advertisement with, it's like a can of lard with arms and legs, like having a wee dance. So it's like 4 letters, lard, but the actual story on the inside is about him losing weight and like whether people would still appreciate him for who he is, and like trying to get through his own personal battles, and yet it kind of just rounds off that the real 4-letter word is love,
Right.
because he like goes on about his kids and everything as well. It's really good, really good. But that's all that in the Walking Dead compendium. I finally finished it, so that was 1,083 pages or something like that.
Fucking hell.
And I've got another one to go through. It's like 1,000 odd pages as well. And it's still going. I've got
They're
another,
good.
another one
Yeah,
after
they're
that.
good.
They're
They're
actually
good,
really good, yeah. I didn't expect much. I really didn't expect it. It was my first forte into the actual comics, and I didn't expect much at all. And I
No,
really
they are
enjoyed
good.
it. Those things are they're good size.
They
They're
are
like
good, yeah.
like
They are
a
massive
phone book.
editions,
Yeah.
yes.
Like
Indeed.
a phone book. They're bigger than the Marvel Essentials,
Yes.
which is saying something,
Mm.
considering they're huge in themselves. So.
Do you know what,
Oh,
do you know
yes,
what
it
works so well in that film? That scene
Oh,
with
dear.
Lois Lane in the helicopter on the top of the building. She's going away to have an interview with someone in the helicopter, and it gets stuck.
Oh,
and it's
right,
hanging
yeah.
out, and she's hanging out it. And
Yeah.
see that scene? That works. That captures anybody. I used to play that.
Is that the one where he first meets her? Where he comes
That's
from
his
underneath?
that's when he's first. He first
Where
meets
he
her.
gets her from underneath?
Yeah, that's the first time he's Superman. I
He's
think.
Superman, yeah, with the suit,
Yeah, he comes out, and the guy goes, "Hey man, whoa, what a suit!" And he's like, "Excuse me," because I always remember that's his Superman's first line in those films. Excuse me, and
Excuse me, and it goes.
that's Superman.
And the people are like,
Yeah.
It's not like breaking people's necks.
No,
that's
no,
like,
no.
excuse me.
Yeah, because the guy that the half-hour review that I watched of Superman 1, he was having a dig at the recent Batman and Superman thing,
Yeah.
going, this isn't what Superman's about.
Do you know what? There's a really good set on YouTube of where, and it's like they just play the film and they talk. All the guy loves Superman, and it's really good. I wonder if that's still online. I must look that up for you.
tell you what we need to do one day is get together and watch some videos related to comics,
Yeah.
films,
Yeah.
and let's have a,
Yeah, that'd be good
something
as well.
to eat, some drinks, and just have a laugh about it.
said
Because
that.
there's some belters
Yep.
that we can watch and have a
Nick
laugh.
Fury.
Nick Fury by Devil.
The Hoff.
Don't hassle the Hoff. I mean, that is one of them.
Folks,
David Hasselhoff
I
did
have
what?
some
Nick
feminine
Fury.
tattoos, so
Oh, ferrets.
I need
What
to,
are the ferrets?
I think it was in the 90s.
well, thank you very much, guys.
You couldn't bring me down. You couldn't bring me down. You couldn't bring me down.
Continue to stay up to date with That Comic Smell on Twitter @ThatComicSmell. You can also send us any comments or queries at thatcomicsmell@gmail.com. To listen to our previous episodes or to follow us or subscribe, you can reach us at SoundCloud, YouTube and iTunes. Thanks for listening.
Makes it harder to live even though you've been wondering.
The music that we were kindly allowed to use for this week's podcast was by Side Saddle, and the song is called Something I Said off of their album The Historian. You can find out more at sidesaddlemusic.com. That's SIDESADDLE music.com.
Bring me down.